It was a jaw-dropping moment for longtime Pawn Stars fans when word started to spread that Austin Lee Russell, better known by his nickname Chumlee, had been sentenced to life in prison. The rumor hit like a punch to the gut. After all, Chumlee had always been seen as the light-hearted, goofy sidekick on the show, someone who brought humor and charm to the daily grind of the pawn business. Nobody could have predicted that the fun-loving character with the big smile and laid-back attitude would end up making headlines for serious legal trouble. The news, though greatly exaggerated, sent shockwaves through the fanbase, raising the question, what in the world really happened? For years, Pawn Stars captured the imagination of viewers by diving into the world of rare antiques, tricky negotiations, and the colorful personalities that made up the staff at the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop in Las Vegas. It was part reality show, part history lesson, and part comedy, all wrapped up in the daily operations of a real-life pawn shop. Chumlee was often the comic relief, poking fun at himself, getting teased by his co-workers, and providing viewers with plenty of laughs. He became a household name in America, especially with older generations who appreciated the mix of old-school values, oddball humor, and genuine human stories the show delivered. Austin Russell was born on September 8, 1982, in Henderson, Nevada, a suburb of Las Vegas. His nickname, Chumlee, came from a childhood friend's father who joked that he resembled Chumlee the Walrus, a character from the 1960s cartoon Tennessee Tuxedo. It stuck, and Chumlee embraced it as part of his identity. Growing up, he formed a close bond with Corey Harrison, known on the show as Big Hossin, whose father Rick Harrison and grandfather Richard Old Man Harrison opened the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop back in 1989. That friendship would eventually turn into a working relationship, and later, a television legacy. Chumlee started working at the pawn shop at age 21. He didn't walk into a glamorous role. His early responsibilities included testing electronics, loading items, and managing inventory behind the counter. It wasn't until years later, when the History Channel picked up the idea for a show about the family-run pawn shop, that Chumlee would find himself in front of a camera. When Pawn Stars began filming in mid-2009, the cast had no idea how big it would become. Just 2 weeks before the show's premiere, Chumlee's father passed away from pancreatic cancer, an emotional loss that occurred right before his son's life would change forever. The show, produced by Left Field Pictures, quickly became a smash hit. It blended history and humor, bringing together viewers from all walks of life. At its peak, Pawn Stars was the most watched show on the History Channel and the second most popular reality TV program behind MTV's Jersey Shore. While Rick was the knowledgeable boss and Corey was the heir apparent, Chumlee carved out his own unique space as the lovable goofball. He took his fair share of jokes on the show, especially from Rick and Corey, but he won fans over with his good nature and the occasional surprise expertise, especially when it came to things like vintage, pinball machines, and quirky collectibles. As the show gained momentum, Chumlee parlayed his popularity into business opportunities. In 2010, he launched a company selling custom merchandise and novelty items, from t-shirts to bobbleheads featuring his likeness. Business was booming so much that Rick Harrison bought a 50% stake in Chumlee's company for around $155,000 to help streamline operations and handle customer orders. Chumlee's merchandise outsold those of other cast members by a large margin, which spoke volumes about how much fans connected with him. What many fans don't know is that Chumlee was no stranger to hard work long before fame found him. He once worked as an assistant manager at a McDonald's and later helped Rick run a Quiznos franchise. In fact, he worked both jobs, Quiznos and the pawn shop, for 135 days straight without a single day off. That kind of grind-it-out attitude is something many older viewers can relate to and respect. Eventually, he left food service behind and focused full-time on the pawn shop, just as the show began to take off. Chumlee's popularity extended beyond the walls of the pawn shop. He, Corey, and Rick even appeared as themselves in an episode of Nickelodeon's iCarly, titled I Lost My Head in Vegas. It was a fun crossover that introduced the Pawn Stars trio to a younger audience, but it was also a reminder of how mainstream Chumlee had become. His interactions on the show, especially the friendly banter with Rick, felt genuine, and that authenticity is what made people root for him. But behind the scenes, things took a darker turn in 2016. Chumlee's Las Vegas home was searched by police as part of a sexual assault investigation. While no charges were filed in connection to the alleged assault, the search uncovered a trove of illegal items: crystal meth, marijuana, Xanax, signs of cocaine use, and a collection of firearms, several of which were not properly registered. The findings shocked fans and cast a long shadow over Chumlee's clean-cut television image. He was arrested and released the next day on bond. Soon after, he was facing nearly 20 felony charges, most related to illegal weapons and drug possession. His lawyer, the well-known defense attorney David Chesnoff, worked out a plea agreement. Chumlee admitted to one felony count of unlawful firearm possession and one gross misdemeanor charge of attempted drug possession. He avoided prison, but was placed on 3 years of probation and required to attend counseling. He surrendered several weapons and was ordered to stay out of trouble. Despite how severe the case sounded on paper, it flew under the radar compared to the exaggerated headlines about life sentences and death hoaxes that started circulating online. In truth, Chumlee kept his head down and focused on getting his life back on track. After serving his probation, he emerged with a quieter, more grounded public image. He returned to Pawn Stars and slowly began expanding his business interests again. In June 2017, he opened Chumlee's Candy on the Boulevard, a colorful and nostalgic candy shop located right next to the pawn shop. It quickly became a must-visit stop for fans in Las Vegas. The store carries everything from retro candy like Abba Zabas and Pez to specialty sodas and souvenir merchandise. Customers often get the chance to meet Chumlee in person, take photos, and see the more entrepreneurial side of a man who once played the fool for laughs. Today, Chumlee is more than just a TV personality. He's a businessman with multiple streams of income, including collectibles, appearances, and his thriving candy shop. He maintains a strong online presence, regularly interacting with fans and sharing updates on new products and events. His ability to reinvent himself, especially after such a public fall from grace, is a rare trait in the entertainment world. In recent years, he's returned to the spotlight in a new way with Pawn Stars Do America, a spin-off that takes the original cast on the road. Instead of waiting for items to come to them in Vegas, Chumlee and the team now travel the country in search of unique treasures, historical artifacts, and fascinating stories. It's added a fresh layer to the series and given Chumlee new opportunities to shine outside of the pawn shop's familiar walls. Not stopping there, he ventured into video games with the release of Chum's Adventure, The Quest for Pinky, a side-scrolling retro-style game that puts players in the shoes of Chumlee as he attempts to rescue his beloved dog, Pinky. The game blends nostalgia with modern gameplay and has been embraced by both fans of the show and collectors of old-school games. Chumlee's story is one of transformation and resilience. He went from the funny guy on a pawn show to a man who faced serious legal consequences, took responsibility, and built something better in its place. He still cracks jokes, still wears that same signature grin, but now there's a maturity behind it, a quiet reminder that life, no matter how messy, always gives you another shot if you're willing to do the work. His journey resonates with people because it's real. He made mistakes, he paid the price, and he found a way to rebuild. Whether it's through reality television, candy, collectibles, or video games, Chumlee continues to evolve, and most importantly, entertain. And for fans who've watched him grow from a background character to the heart of the show, that's something worth celebrating. What's your take on Chumlee's ups and downs? Have you ever met him or visited his shop in Vegas? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this deep dive look at one of Pawn Stars' most beloved figures, be sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more stories about your favorite TV personalities, old school legends, and unexpected comeback tales. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss another update.